You have to do it. Don't take 7 months trying to make every single component be perfect, because perfect doesn't exist. You're not going to do a damn thing in the practice or the business or in life if you want it to be perfect. So do it, and as much as what you're getting out of it, learn from it, because every time you do it, you're going to learn a bunch of new things, and as long as you incorporate that into your next one, you're going to get stronger and stronger and stronger every time.
Welcome to the Super Clinic Project Podcast, where we take regular clinic owners and turn them into cash-based multimillionaire entrepreneurs. Warning, if you're a doctor who listens to this podcast regularly, you will make millions of dollars. Do not listen to this podcast unless you want to be a successful clinic owner who helps thousands of patients achieve their health goals and adds more money than you can imagine to your bank account. You've been warned.
Welcome to episode 1 of the Super Clinic Project Podcast, where we give you the exact tactics, strategies, and mindsets that you need to fulfill your destiny by helping thousands of people in your community and dominating your market and your life. I'm going to be one of your hosts, Rory Morgan, and by the end of today's episode, you will know exactly how to add an extra $20K to your clinic this month through our Super Clinic Super Referral Program. So welcome to episode 1, guys. And in this episode, we're going to spend a little bit of extra time introducing ourselves and letting you know exactly what to expect in future episodes, just so you can kind of navigate and understand what you're getting into. So without further ado, I want to introduce our first co-host, Jennifer Gligoric. Did I
Hey
pronounce
guys.
that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, it's Gligoric, but that's okay.
Gligoric, sorry.
Yes, I'm Jennifer Gligoric. I was the former host of Entrepod. Some of you may be coming here from that. I have about 25 years of experience helping business owners doing crisis intervention in businesses. And for the last 2 to 2.5 years, I've been working mostly in the healthcare sphere, working with doctors, chiropractors, med spas, functional medicine clinics, hormone clinics, doing a very intense 4-month turnaround, trying to double, if not triple, their business in that time and helping them, achieve their dreams. So I'm very excited to be back podcasting, and I'm totally stoked to be with our hosts.
Awesome, Jennifer. And if I might ask you, like, what do you think maybe one thing that separates you in terms of being able to kind of have insight into clinics with like what you've seen in the past? I know you've been on the ground in office dealing with doctors. Like, where do you really feel like you have insight where other people maybe things are just more generic when they're talking about what's going on in a clinic?
Well, I think you're right. I've actually sat in the office, worked with the docs, worked with the nurses, worked with the front desk, worked with the outside marketers to do practice turnarounds. And it is different, but then the fact that I've also worked with furnishing companies, staffing agencies, retail, and done that, it's what healthcare clinics think they don't have to worry about, which they absolutely do if they're a clinic owner. Business is business, and we tend to forget that in the healthcare sphere. So I think that bringing that over, but also understanding that there are unique dynamics in healthcare clinics in that setting and what you're dealing with. I think that's my secret sauce.
Okay, love it. Thank you. So let's hear from our third host, Tracey Sundkvist. How do I say that one, Tracey? I don't know if you've noticed this, but I never say your guys' last names because
Nobody does.
Always
You
afraid.
think that we met each other? We did not just meet each other, guys. We actually worked together for years. But this is just who you're going to find out. This is who.
Every single time, I am intimidated when I look at your name on the Zoom screen, and I just say Tracey.
Yeah.
I would never dare to say like Miss but it's just Sunkist.
Sundkvist, like
Sundkvist.
Quist, yeah.
Sundkvist. So
Yeah.
let's hear your background and your expertise, Tracey.
Thanks, Rory. I also come with quite a diverse background. I think when I broke out into the working world, I had no clue what I wanted to do, but I very quickly figured out that my passion lies with identifying talent. It's all around people. So starting out, it was all around how do you identify talent, and then what do you do with it once you find it? Like, how do you nurture that talent, those teams, those organizations to perform way beyond what they could if there was no intervention? So it's more approaching people from a perspective of leveraging strengths rather than identifying weaknesses and trying to overcome that. So this passion was really fueled by enjoyment of neuroscience and also based on psychology. So how do your skills, your thinking, and your behavior determine the results that you're getting? And how are you able to get out of your own way so that you're able to unleash all of the possibilities and potentials in your life, your business, your relationship, in all aspects?
Absolutely. Yeah, I love that, right? Because I guess I've kind of, in my mind, I've kind of developed the way that I think about it, this hierarchy, right? Which is, okay, like your tactics, that's what you have to do to get results. You have to do some things, some tactical things to get results in your business, in your life, as a parent, as a husband or wife, as a business owner, right? But then those tactics, like the thing that's going to trump the tactics is what's your overall strategy, right? So just to apply a couple different examples to that, like in parenting, there's so many ways to raise a kid. There's so many ways to punish or reward a kid. There's and lots of people raise great kids that end up being great, healthy, productive adults. Some of them were raised super, super strict. Some of them were raised, pretty lenient, right? It's not that there's one specific tactic that you need to use, like, oh, do you spank your kid or do you do that, right? It's not like the strategy. What type of person am I trying to raise? What are the values that I'm trying to bring them up with? Like, what is it that's important to us as a family is so much more important than the individual tactic that you implement, right? You can apply that same thing to your business, right? It's like, yeah, well, we've got to run Facebook ads. That's the tactic. But what's the strategy that we're employing when we're running those ads, right? But then above the tactics is the culture, right? What are our values? What do we care about? What dent do we want to make in the universe, right? And then even above that, at the highest level is what you're getting at, which is, I think popularly people like to say mindset, right? You said neuroscience, psychology. It's like, are you the person? Are you being the person that has the behaviors where you actually are creating that culture one level down so that you can implement the strategy one level below that so that the tactics get done, right? Do you wake up and think the right way about your own life so that you're going to have the behaviors to do all that, right? It's like,
yeah, it's important for clinic owners, especially to recenter themselves each day and say, okay, today, this is my priority for today. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I didn't do good, well yesterday, but today I know what my goal is and I need to march myself forward. So many clinic owners, you had asked me later on, what do I think are the biggest mistakes that clinic owners make. And I would say getting caught, you don't create a 9-to-5 job for yourself and then try to be an owner after hours and then fail at the owner part of it. I would say that's the biggest mistake. And also to not outsourcing the most important aspects of the business, which usually is, new lead generation and things like that. But to do that. So I'm just going to bring that in now because that ties into what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm excited to get into that. And like, Tracey, did I get that right when I say, like, ultimately at the end of the day, it's like the people, the person, you have to be the right person and the people on your team have to be the right people to get the tactics done and get the results.
Absolutely. I think everybody, how I've come across it is that every single business owner thinks that, or a lot of business owners, especially the ones that struggle to make it, they think that running a business, running a practice, running a school, no matter what organization they're running, they feel that that is a set of roles. But it's so much more than that, because if you are not clear on what it is that you're about and how you're going to make a difference, how you're going to communicate that, how you're actually going to live that, then all it is a 1 + 1 = 2. And there are so many inefficiencies that happen throughout, because everybody's calculating different sums instead of all of us. We are about ridding the world of pain and putting chiropractic care in the preventative section rather than, a response to something breaking.
For sure. Yeah, and just as we get along here, I mean, this first episode's gonna be just a little bit longer as we kind of share with you guys our hearts and who we are, right, and share a couple extra stories. But it does remind me of what you're just saying is this very thing, right? It's not just 1 + 1 = 2. My 10-year-old son has been coming home every day for the last couple weeks, and it's like, man, he has like 2.5 hours of homework, right? And in my opinion, it's like, what the heck is a 10-year-old doing with? He's already spent 8 hours at school. Why is he doing 2.5 hours? And he's got he's got hockey practice and he's got all this stuff, and I'm like, what the heck? And but here's the thing: he's sitting at the dining room table doing it. His brothers are running around. His parents, myself and my wife are talking to him and asking him questions. Sometimes the hockey game gets turned on the TV, and he's like trying to do this, and he's getting, he's really just doing 1 + 1 = 2. Like, he knows how to do the stuff, but he's so inefficient in how he's doing it. And so I started having talks with him, basically like, hey, dude, here's the thing, man. Like, we need to go upstairs to this little separate room that we have. We call it the triangle room because it's kind of like a weird shape. And we need to be by ourselves, and we need to get focused. And what you're going to find is that you can get that 2.5 hours of homework done way faster. And I kind of had like multiple talks because he just didn't believe me, like, no, Dad, he's got a bad attitude about it. And, sure enough, excuse me, the first time he goes up there, he, I think he had it done in like 1 hour and 20 minutes or something like that. Right. And I was like, well, that's a lot faster, right? Now you can go out in the backyard and you can skate, otherwise you weren't going to have time to go play hockey in the backyard. And then the next day, and I kind of give him another 30-minute reminder about how important it is to stay focused and just get it done and not have interruptions. And the next day he goes up there and he does it again, and he comes down to me and he's like, Dad, I set a new record. Last night it took me 37 minutes because I put in our 10-year-old, when they 10, they have to do their own laundry. I put my laundry in last night, and it was 37-minute cycle, and it took me, and I wrote 1 paragraph in that time. And tonight I put my laundry in and I got all 3 paragraphs done in that same amount of time. And I'm like, see, man, I told you, like, this is how it works, right? And so I felt that really tied into what you were saying, Tracey, which is like, the thing he's doing is the same. It's like, it's math, it's writing, it's comprehend, it's composition, right? He's writing things, he's doing math, he knows how to do it. But holy cow, when you change your mindset and your psychology around how you do it, wow, are the results so much better, right? So
Absolutely.
much more productivity. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, okay, let's move on to our topic. And I want to give you guys just a little bit of expectation for what to expect from these podcasts. So, first of all, we really want this podcast to be just extremely actionable for you guys. So we're going to focus on tactics in a lot of these episodes, right? Where we literally give you, here's step 1, here is step 2, here is step 3. Do this, do this, do this. And we want you to be able to take this, listen to the episode, and be like, okay, done. Just like my kid doing his homework, go get in a room, get it done, and you can have results immediately. The second thing that we're also going to do, though, is we're going to bring on a lot of guests. And so these guests are going to have specific areas of expertise, things that they've already done well to grow their own businesses. We'll have clinical business owners as well as businesses from other industries, so you can understand how these things integrate and how they cross across different niches. And then I also want to bring on a lot of people we've specifically worked with, so you can hear their experience of like, hey, I implemented this, I did this, and here's the result I got. Here's why it worked. Here's how I understand why it's doing that. So that's what you can expect from episodes here, and we'll try to prep you at the beginning of an episode of what exactly you can get from it. So at this point, let's get into today's topic, which is tactical. Here is a step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that you can follow and go get results in your business. So what it is going to be is we're going to try to supercharge your clinic with referral campaigns, because lots of clinics, I don't think they realize it. You try to get referrals, you try to ask for it. Maybe you even have a formalized referral campaign or a referral process that you've worked on with a coach or you've created for yourself. But when you do it consistently, step by step, following a really robust system where it integrates with your marketing, when it integrates with the scripting in the office, when it integrates with handing things out to patients, and it's all cohesive, it all works together synergistically, you literally can add an extra 20K per month, 40 or 50K per month. And you probably won't do this every single month, but the months that you do it, it's like, bam, you're just adding these super high quality referral quality patients at a really, really high rate, because we all know that referral patients are the best patients. And it's not even close, right? I mean, that's what we all want, a referral based clinic. Every business wants to have a referral based business, right? So it's the absolute best way to grow your business. So I think we should probably start here by talking about some of the mistakes that we see people making. So Tracey, I thought maybe I would ask you. You've helped a lot of clinics run referral campaigns, and you've been in the trenches with helping people implement this. What are some of the things you see clinics either doing wrong or just not doing at all that's ultimately costing them money? And I would even add to that, costing their community, because their community isn't getting the results that they could be getting because they're not hearing the message that they need to hear.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a couple of things going on here, but the ones that really stand out for me is the consistency, right? So understand how frequently you need to do this and where you're going to put it into your process so that it can be automatically a part of the process. But at the same time, also, we were talking about that 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2. This isn't just something separate that you're going to add on so you can get new blood without paying for it. This is really about giving your current patients the opportunity to rave about you. And if what you're doing is amazing, which is what we want to help you build out, then referring should be a cakewalk. People should want to refer. So really, to instead of only view this referral campaign as something that you run to get just kind of easy leads, another way that you could look at it would be, how healthy are we executing on our perfect patient experience, and how many of our patients are actually so happy with what we're doing that they're prepared to, unequivocally send more people our way. So, I mean, other than that, those being the big ones, I think it's also getting the team clear on how they're going to play a role in this campaign. You're not just going to launch something and then not have your internal team know, how are we going to deal with the messaging? How do we need to communicate it? How are we going to track it? And kind of understand the ins and outs.
I think I agree with that last one, especially because it's like, I've seen that so many times where it's like, there's this big campaign launching, there's emails going out, there's text messages going out, there's things happening in the office, and that campaign launches and the front desk has no idea what it is. And like, people will call, they'll call in and they'll be like, oh, this blah, 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 blah. And the front desk is like, I think you have the wrong number.
Yeah, we've heard it on our recordings. We've heard it in live clinics with clients, and they have no idea what they're talking about. And nothing erodes confidence more than that.
Totally. It's like, this person is calling up because they want to give you business, and you're basically turning them away.
And that's another indicator that they're not having any fun. as owners or in the practice. When you're having fun in the business and not making things fun, then why would you tell the front desk it's not fun anyway? This is just something we've got to do. When you make it fun, you get everyone involved in it, and everyone knows this really fun campaign's going out, what you're doing, and you're not asking for it, right? You're not asking your front desk to even engage, much less actually asking the clients to refer you. So you have to be willing to ask, for what you want, as well as to think about, how can we make this fun? How can I be excited about what I do to the point that the people I work with even know what I'm doing?
Yeah. 100%. Right. And that sort of ties into another mistake that I see, which, when you say making it fun, how easy to make things fun, right? Like you can just set a goal.
Yeah.
Right.
People big part of the referral campaign is giving something away and having that little fish bowl that you're putting those little referral cards in, and you're going to have a drawing and you're going to do something fun. When it's, enjoy what you're doing if you're going to do it, right?
Yeah, I just think everybody, I don't care, the least competitive person in the world, when you dangle a carrot in front of them, all of a sudden they get a little bit competitive. Right. And most people we naturally as human beings are pretty competitive. So if we could just set a goal and put that goal on the wall in the back room, right, and say, let's go for this. This is 20 referrals, 50 referrals, whatever it is, and incentivize the team and say, let's achieve something this month. Like, let's be proud of ourselves. That's fun for people. Right. It's really fun.
And I think some doctors get afraid that, I cannot monetize, because they've dealt with, government subsidized Medicare or Medicaid, and they think to themselves, I can't pay for referrals. Right. So how are we going to make this fun? And really, the referral program, when you do a giveaway that is a random giveaway, it's super fun, and you're not skirting any law. Right. So you can be safe and be happy to do that. And I think learning that tactic and taking away whatever fear was in their head, maybe they heard a story and they didn't actually hear it right, and now they think they can't do that. Once you realize, no, that's totally open and available to you. So go for it. Yeah.
Totally. Okay. Well, let's give the people what they want, and let's tell them how to do this referral campaign. So, Tracey, from a mindset and an actually getting your team prepared perspective, like mindset and readiness, being ready to just dominate with this campaign, what would you say is important to make sure that you are setting yourself up for success?
I think probably from a team perspective, everybody needs to understand, what are we doing? Right. So when you're going to run a referral campaign, one of the things that we put is what is the goal for the campaign? And yes, we need to break it down into how many referrals we want to get. That's fantastic. But if you look at the whole thing if you look at it as a whole, you want to reach 30 people that might otherwise not have come to you. You want to help them solve a problem. So you can make that goal as inspiring as you want. But it's more than that. It's also understanding, getting everyone in the team to understand, what is their role in this campaign? What do I need to say? How are we going to track? What does that need to sound like? If I'm not very comfortable saying that, who can I practice that with so that I don't suck on those first 70 calls, which happens. Some team members are more shy to just go out and start something. So I think it is important that you have a good insight into who's going to be comfortable with it, who's not going to be comfortable with, and just make sure everyone is clear on what they need to do.
100%. So set a goal, make sure everybody knows exactly what their role is to achieve that goal. I'm the person writing everything down, putting it into the computer. I have a script that I need to follow for how I ask, like getting specific on those things. One thing I would add to that is make sure you're prepared to measure progress towards that goal every single day. So the team knows, okay, our goal is 50. Today we got 4. We need 46 more the rest of the month, right?
But don't forget to celebrate the 4, because as Jennifer said, it is supposed to be fun. So there needs to be a hype around it.
Absolutely. Okay. So, the consideration we mentioned earlier, insurance, I do want to make sure you guys realize like this is totally going to be legal. And of course, always check with your lawyers. I mean, you always want to check on this stuff. I'm not allowed to give legal advice. I don't have that qualified immunity that attorneys do. But, you know, there's this initial objection that a lot of clinics have, which is like, oh, I accept insurance, and so I can't I can't like incentivize referrals. Like you'll see exactly how we set this up that you're not doing that. Go ahead and check with your attorney, and I'm 99.9% sure the attorney's going to be like, oh, actually, yeah, that's totally legal. So, okay. So the first thing you need to understand as far as how are we doing that is that instead of asking for referrals and saying, oh, I'm going to give you, hey, if you refer a patient, you're going to get this monetary incentive or you're going to get this gift for referring your friends. What we are going to do instead of that is we are going to sell gift cards. Okay. So that's the first key thing here. So people love giving gifts to their friends, to their families. And it's so much easier for them to do that rather than like beg their friend, like they know, like, oh my gosh, I know I can get this prize, or I'm going to get $50 if I refer my friend. So I'm going to try to beg my friend to show up at the office. Well, instead of that, they're just going to give their friend a gift. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to sell these gift cards to your existing patients with the understanding that that gift card is only for a friend. Okay. And you're going to sell them at a deeply discounted price. So, do you mind, Jennifer, just giving the people an idea of how this gift card should actually work?
Yeah, think of the gift card as something that includes like your basic new patient process. So it would be a consult, an exam, x-rays if you do it, your report of findings, a first adjustment if you're a chiro. Maybe if you're doing skin, it would be like a 9-point skin analysis, a cream, a mini facial if you're a med spa, whatever you typically use for your new patient process. And you're going to want to add something to it that's going to give it a little bit of a zhuzh, something makes it a little bit exciting. Maybe a B12 shot or a massage or something just a little bit extra. You'll want it to be around a $200 to $300 value, and you'll want to put that what the value is, and then you'll sell it for around $20. And you want to make sure that on the back of their card, you have a place where you can put their name. They have to give you that card, and then the person referring, the patient, would put their name on the back. That way, when that card comes in, the new patient, you've got the new patient referral, and then you're going to take that card and put it into a fishbowl. And then the person who's done enough, they can get into a drawing for something really big. And that's just a really fun way to do it. So you get a really good gift. That's not a high cost gift, $20, that's a pretty good gift for what they're getting. They're going to be handing it out. And then the people who come in, they can get it. You put it in the fishbowl, who's referred to you, and it's going to be great because you never know how it is. You're going to hand it out to all these people, and someone may give you 5 people and someone might give you 1. How did you say that, Rory? You said it's like 1,000 golden BBs instead of 1 silver bullet. That's why this is a fun way to do it when you're doing referrals with existing patients.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's something we'll probably touch on again later, is that concept of 1,000 golden BBs rather than 1 silver bullet. But I think what I took away from what you're saying there, right, is like give something amazing, right? So if it's, it's like you get that whole new patient process. If it's a chiropractic office, it's like the x-rays, the consult, the exam, the report of findings, your first adjustment, throw in a massage, something that's like, that's a lot of value. And so this patient is actually giving their friend a $300 gift, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But they only had to spend $20 on it. Right?
Yeah, and who doesn't know someone who complains about their back or their knee, or some person who, maybe I want to try going to a med spa, but I'm not really sure yet. And, you're like, they've been talking about wanting to get Botox done forever, and you're giving them, just that incentive. We all know, hopefully you have friends and your patients have friends, and they can do this.
Yeah, well, I've had a few female clients tell me I need to do Botox, so I
Oh,
around to it.
no, you don't need to do Botox.
But well
Okay,
done on their sales skill, right?
Yeah.
Keep
yeah,
doing that.
yeah, that's what they need to do. That's what they need to do in their businesses too.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. Now, obviously, let's kind of add into this the incentive piece, right? Which it's already been thrown out there, but okay, so we've got this cool gift that they're giving to the potential referee, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
But let's incentivize our patients besides just that awesome gift they can give to someone. Make a big raffle drawing. So
Yeah.
every single card that's purchased gives them an entry into the prize drawing. And so make it big and make it obvious and display it in the office. So we're talking about like a big screen TV, a paddle board, right? You like put the paddle board laying up against the wall in the hallway or in the lobby, right? A surfboard, right? Sometimes you could even like partner with a local business, right? I know a snowboard and ski rental place near us. They partner. They do this with so many different things around the community. There's all these giveaways for this rental place. They always are doing these like win a free snowboard package or whatever. And there's like so many businesses in the community, and everybody's trying to win this free snowboard packages, but they're doing it in like 10 different places. So you could approach businesses with that idea, right? And just say, hey, would you be willing to give away a prize? And here's what we'll do in return, right? Well, we'll cover some concepts like that in another episode. But there's so many things that you can do. Just make it cool and make it really obvious. And every single one, every single card that's purchased is going into that drawing. Last thing I would say is handwritten sign works really well right next to that prize, right? So like those chalkboard signs really work, right? With like the pastel colored pens that you write on them with. Just say something along the lines of ask us how to win this prize this month by giving your friend a gift. So you're drawing a lot of attention to it. Tracey, you want to talk about, right? And this is what we talked about synergistically. When we make this a big deal, we want all of the office revolving around this for the whole month. So what about like, signage, promotional materials, scripting, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah. So I think just to start, we need to get clear about the timing. So when is it technically going to start and when is it going to end? So we've found kind of the sweet spot, have about a month, right? If you run it the whole year, that's going to lose momentum fast. You want to keep it pretty high impact, pretty intense, and you can do that comfortably over the course of a month.
Yeah, it's
The
like a
next thing
sprint.
is, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Signage, promote this thing, right? Marketing is all about eyeballs, and you want the eyeballs to see it everywhere. So put it up in at least 3 different places where your patients coming in can see it, where they're reminded what you're doing, and it makes it very clear that something special is going on. The next thing is to send out email reminders, because if you have patients that have been with you for years, but they're not coming in currently, you want them also to get the opportunity to participate. So make sure your messaging is clear and have a clear message so that they can understand what it is that you're running, how long it's going, what's in it for them, what's in it for the person who they're going to refer, and how they can start getting involved. I think another big thing that people tend to forget about is remember the card, right? So as soon as your patients sign up to, they purchase the card to give to their friends, family, they need to put the name on it. So they need to get the physical card. You'll have to have them ready. You'll need to make sure that everything works flawlessly so you don't end up with a whole bunch of cards in a bowl with no names on it and you don't know who ultimately wins. Personalized messaging for everyone who's referred. So, I mean, I don't know about you, but if I refer anybody in my family to, whatever promotion, I'm sure as heck going to tell them, listen, I put your name up for this because I don't want them to be blindsided. So that makes it also a good idea to reach out through, whether it's email, if you're going big, definitely have automated process. If you have more hands, personal calls. Hey, I'm so delighted that so-and-so referred you, give me your, I'm going to be sending you some details. Is this email correct? Super. Let's get cracking.
Yeah.
And then also, I think finally, just to understand what that scripting is going to sound like. So be clear in the process, right? You're going to put it out there that, I'm sorry, I've completely lost my space. I'm trying to keep up here with what you've said, but I can't.
Yeah, I can take over on the script.
Just bloop there, please.
Yeah.
Bloop ahead.
Just introduce me to do the scripting, and I'll.
Yeah. Okay. So then you need to get very clear about the scripting component, and I think, Rory, this is where you're really going to get that point across well.
Yeah, absolutely, right. Like I think the idea here is like what tends to happen is people are just a little bit shy about asking for referrals, right? We kind of, it's like a soft sort of like, oh, do you know anyone that would be interested, right? And so being that this is a gift, first of all, instead of please refer your friend, basically it would sound something like, hey, Lindsay, did you hear about our gift card for a friend deal this month? Right? Like, oh yeah, I saw that, right? It's so awesome. Basically, it's only available through our existing patients. So as an existing patient, you can purchase this $300 program that we have for as many friends as you want. No limit, but it only costs you $20. But as far as your friends know, you're giving them a $300 gift. Would you like to purchase a few for friends or family? Oh yeah, my mom, my brother, right? Okay, how many do you want? Okay, great. Lindsay wants 3. Awesome. And then you have to follow that up with, okay, what are their names and their email address? I'm going to send them an email as well as I'll give you the card, right? And so you have to take that card as the office employee and write down the name of the person so that this existing patient isn't like, oh yeah, I'll buy 4 of these for myself, right? It's for their friend, right? So you write the name on there and you get the email so that you can send the email to that referee, and you're going to have a new patient soon, right? And then obviously you collect the money.
Yeah. And don't forget that you can tie a lot of these in with different holidays. So that's usually a fun time to do it, especially holidays where you normally get a dip. So Valentine's Day, I've seen a lot of chiropractors do Valentines. I've seen med spas do Galentine's Day, where they want to bring all your girlfriends in, have them come in and let's see something together. Then you have for this Christmas, why don't you give the gift of health? Better health.
Yeah.
If you've had someone that the holiday food really gets them down, let's work on their digestive stuff, right? You have like everyone, no matter what your specialty is, there's a way that you can flip this for a holiday, and then you can get really into it. And then, with holiday stuff, it also is easier to think of creative ways to do it, because then you're using the holiday, graphics that can go around with it as well, to make it really cool. And also too, you can do different giveaways. You can do the person who bought the most gift cards, and then you can also have another drawing, a bigger drawing for the gift cards that come back to you when the patients actually come in. So how many gift cards you actually physically received, then you can have a big giveaway who is the actual number 1 referrer. So this is a gift that can keep on giving, and you're going to want to reward the people who are actually referring more with a different type of giveaway. Then again, it's not direct. It's just a drawing, but you can really hype that up. So it'll be fun. And also totally. Too, for anyone who's listening, we're going to have downloads for all of this. And so we also have a free mastermind course that I know Rory's going to talk to you about. And we have downloads where you can actually get these scripts and get these tactics, and then we always put the transcript too. So you can just, if you're in your car right now, driving during lunch going, this is great, I don't have a thing. Don't worry. We've got you covered on that.
Yeah, 100%. And I think this is kind of like where we were getting into the concept of, I think it's just important to mention, right? So you're following this scripting. This is where it's important to have that idea of 1,000 golden BBs instead of one silver bullet. Because I've talked to so many offices where, and it happens across all sorts of things, but with like a referral campaign, they're like, oh, it was okay. It didn't really work that well. It's like, okay, well, how many patients did you get? Well, we got 15. Okay. And how much revenue that generate? Well, I haven't really totaled up the numbers. Okay. Well, like, let's try to total it up right now. They hem and haw about it. And it's like, it's about like 25,000. It's like, okay, let's just think this through. That's $25,000 that you would not have made if you didn't do this. Right. So yeah, you asked 1,000 people and it only ended up being 15 new people showing up. Right. And it's going to be usually a much better ratio than that. But like, let's use bad numbers. It's like, but that's all you had to do is when the person was in front of you, just say this thing. And yeah, a lot of people said, oh, I couldn't find anyone. But if you just keep saying it, those BBs keep adding up to $25,000. Right? It didn't cost you anything. I mean, maybe a few dollars. I guess you got to spend money on the paddleboard giveaway or whatever. But the reality is like if you will just execute these processes, no, it's not 100%. Nobody bats 1,000. But each piece, as you do it again and again and again, they just add up. So, yeah. And then obviously I think the last step is, to wrap everything up, you do that drawing and you give it away, right? You give away the prize to the person that gets drawn out of the hat. And now you've run a successful referral campaign and, hopefully you've made 20 or 40 or maybe even $100,000 depending on what you sell and how big your market is. So anything to add there, ladies?
Yep. Be sure to promote it. Oh, sorry. Be sure to promote it. Promote the winners. Have your newsletter. You want to put their picture up. This is the person who won, or we gave away this last month. You could be the next month's winner. Be sure to take that goodwill, put it on your social media. Maybe they don't want to be seen. That's fine. You can at least promote that someone you gave something away. You have to do that anyway on giveaways. So be sure to promote that.
Absolutely. Yep.
Anything
from you, Tracey?
Yeah. You have to do it, right? Don't take 7 months, try to make every single component be perfect, because perfect doesn't exist. You're not going to do a damn thing in the practice or the business or in life if you want it to be perfect. So do it, and as much as what you're getting out of it, learn from it, because every time you do it, you're going to learn a bunch of new things, and as long as you incorporate that into your next one, you're going to get stronger and stronger and stronger every time. And have fun.
Yeah. So done is better than perfect. And with that, guys, what I want to invite you to do is if you want it to be the easy mode, if you want to try this campaign, you can get it basically for free. So we have a mastermind. It is a paid mastermind, but you can try that mastermind for 14 days for free. So that's all you have to do is if you go to our website, which is
superclinicproject.com, superclinicproject.com.
That's why I have people around me to remind me of the little details like that. So superclinicproject.com, and you can join the mastermind. You can click on the button there to join the mastermind. You can try that for 14 days for free. And it's like all that stuff's there. And there is so much other stuff where you can just take it, copy, paste it, and launch it in your own business. So with that, thanks for joining us on our first episode. We're looking forward to helping you guys grow.
You've been listening to the Super Clinic Project podcast. If you like what you hear, subscribe and stay tuned for further episodes of the Super Clinic Project podcast.